Hi, I'm Mike Hourigan, and when I talk to organizations about change, the biggest question that comes up is, what's the big problem with change, or, people hate it, etc. And really, what I share with people is that it's not about, people aren't afraid of change. What they're afraid of is what change is going to do to them. I'll ask an audience, how many of you are good at what you do? And typically I'll get 50% of the hands and we have a laugh. But people like to be good at what they're doing. And when you introduce change, it means they start to fear whether they're going to be good enough to proceed and continue their career. So I'll give you an example of that. I was working with a manufacturing company about 15 years ago, and their plant manager was telling me a story about two guys that he had worked for him. He said one guy was Roger and the other guy was Gus. And he said they were both fabulous employees. One guy had been here 22 years, the other guy had been here like 29 years. They were the kind of guys that got to work early and set the coffee up for everybody else. They loved what they were doing. And what these guys were really good at is when the machine would break down, they were real good at kind of holding that tongue like this and whacking it, and all of a sudden the machine would be up and going. These guys they even had plaques in their offices that said Gus and Roger, a darn good guy. These were fabulous employees. Well, all of a sudden they're showing up late and they're starting rumors and they're kind of stirring up the stuff. And the plant manager said he couldn't figure out what it was. Well, this is a small town, and he accidentally ran into Gus's wife in the grocery store. And he said to her, Marlene, is there something wrong with Gus? Is he sick, or is there somebody sick in the family? He doesn't seem himself. And the wife kind of paused, and she looked at him and says, if Gus knew I told you this, he'd probably kill me. But Gus can't read, and neither can Roger. And when the two of them came to work here, they didn't have to read. They just had to do their job and be smart about the machines. Roger's found out, and he's told Gus that in 9 months, it's all going to be done with instrumentation. And these guys are going to look like laughingstocks. Now, what this plant manager did is he hired a retired first grade school teacher. And for the next 9 months, these two guys got leadership training from 2 to 4 every afternoon, 3 days a week. And that first grade school teacher taught them how to read. Now, when I tell that story, people say, well, we should just fire them. If they can't read, they don't even have the basics for it. And the man says, I understand that, the plant manager. He says, but here's what I realized, Mike. It's real easy to find people that can read and operate a computer. Real difficult for me to find people that have that kind of dedication to the job. So they were worth the investment. So here we have a situation where fabulous people are totally befuddled by change. And what they weren't afraid of was the change. They were afraid how that change was going to make them look.